Vladimir Putin projected an image of strength in front of a virtual gathering of Moscow-friendly leaders on Tuesday in what was the Russian leader's first appearance on the world stage since he faced an armed insurrection late last month. The comments, made during an address to leaders attending the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, hosted by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, came days after Putin defused the rebellion launched by the Wagner mercenary group. The events were widely seen as the most significant threat to power the autocrat had faced and left Putin's partners and rivals alike wondering how tightly in control he really was, more than 1 year into his floundering invasion of Ukraine. Putin used his moment to speak at the one-day summit to give his answer to that question. The solidarity and high responsibility for the fate of the fatherland was clearly demonstrated by Russian political circles and the entire society by coming out as a united front against the attempted armed rebellion, he said. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues from the SCOW countries who have expressed support for the actions of the Russian leadership, Putin told the attending leaders, who included China's Xi Jinping, Belarus's Alexander Lukashenko, and Iran's Ibrahim Raisi. Many of the leaders in virtual attendance, Russia-friendly nations who share borders, diplomatic aims, or strong economic ties with Moscow, could be significantly impacted by changes in Putin's fate. Founded in 2001 and spread-headed by China and Russia, the SCO also includes India, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan, and accounts for a sweeping portion of Eurasia. And with the inclusion of the world's two most populous countries, around 40 of the global population, Tuesday's summit also provided an opportunity for the body to extend its reach, with the expected official inclusion of Iran coming alongside a step toward welcoming staunch Moscow ally Belarus. The second expansion in the group's more than two-decade history. Both Moscow and Beijing view the group as an alternative to Western-led blocs and a key vehicle for their bid to push back against what it sees as a US-led world order. But while many members may support a world with more dispersed global power, SCO contains a tangled web of interests and allegiances which members must navigate as they aim to enhance regional security and cooperation more broadly. An extended family, Modi in opening remarks praised the SCO as an important platform for peace, prosperity, and development in the entire Eurasia region. We do not see the SCO as an extended neighborhood, but an extended family. Security, economic development, connectivity, unity, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, and environmental protection are the pillars of our vision for SCO, he said. But this year's event was a toned-down affair for the body compared to last year's gathering. That event stretched over 2 in-person days in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, and featured a number of sideline meetings between attending leaders. India announced last month that its Leaders Summit would be held virtually, without specifying why. An online summit can cut time spent together and reduce the optics of solidarity between participants. Modi is hosting the gathering days after being welcomed for a state visit in the US by President Joe Biden, who is keen to cultivate New Delhi as a partner in its growing competition with China. In his address to the summit, Chinese leader Xi stressed the need for unity and cooperation and called for regional leaders to take charge of their own countries' futures, in an apparent bid for them to resist outside influence in the region. The world today is full of chaos, and changes unseen in a century are accelerating. Human society is facing unprecedented challenges: unity or division, peace or conflict, cooperation or confrontation, Tsai said, calling instead for win-win cooperation. Complex backdrop: Putin's ongoing war in Ukraine casts a long shadow over the broadly Russia-friendly gathering, especially as China and India have been under pressure from the West to limit support for Moscow or even push Putin toward peace. A joint statement between Modi and Biden late last month saw the two express concern over the conflict in Ukraine and coercive actions and rising tensions in the India-Pacific region, statements that did not directly name Russia or China, but appeared to point their way. Putin and Modi spoke via phone last week, with the Indian leader reiterating his call for dialogue and diplomacy, New Delhi said. At last year's SCO summit, Modi told Putin in today's era is not an era of war, and India has its own friction with neighboring China. Beijing remains deeply suspicious of a UTOS Indo-Pacific security grouping, known as the Quad, of which India is a part, and the two nuclear-armed neighbors have a simmering conflict along a contested border, which has erupted into violence in recent years. The group also brings together India, Pakistan, another pairing of two nuclear-armed neighbors with a long history of fractious relations. In May, Pakistani Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari became the most senior-level official to visit India in 7 years when he joined a SCO foreign ministers meeting. Iran's expected entry into the grouping comes after it signed a memorandum of obligations at last year's summit. Belarus, a close Russian partner, will take a similar step toward full membership this year, Modi said in his opening remarks. Aspiring SCO member Belarus played a key role in navigating Putin's crisis, claiming to have brokered a deal allowing Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin to safely leave Russia for Belarus. The next news about US court orders $146 in penalty over 500,000 missing silver coins. US court has ordered two precious metals companies to pay almost $115 of $15 in Fiver Eagle coins went missing. The firms and their owner Robert Higgins have been accused of running a fraudulent and deceptive scheme. They had allegedly promised to store the coins for customers. However, when investigators entered vaults that were meant to hold the coins, they were nowhere to be found. Under the court settlement, precious metals dealer Argent Asset Group and First State Depository Company, which were both owned by Mr. Higgins, were ordered to make restitutions of $112.07 and pay a penalty of $33. US financial watchdog, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFD, said Mr. Higgins' companies ran fraudulent silver leasing programs from 2014 to 2022. These were known as the Maximus Program and the Silver Lease Program. Due to the schemes, the companies solicited and misappropriated at least $7 million in funds in silver from at least 200 customers, the regulator said. The firms also made false and misleading excuses for why assets could not be withdrawn, according to the CFTC. The regulator said that over 500,000 American Silver Eagle coins and more than 9,000 gold coins were missing from customers' accounts. In their place, investigators said that they found EU slips in empty boxes marked to indicate a customer's account, yet containing no assets. This kind of egregious behavior merits the full weight of the Commission's enforcement authority, the CFT added. Mr. Higgins did not immediately respond to a request from the BBC for comment. The weight and purity of American Silver Eagle coins are guaranteed by the U.S. government. Each coin contains at least one troy ounce 31.1 of 99.9.9 pure silver, according to the United States Mint. And the latest news about Japan's tallest skyscraper, part of ambitious urban village, completed in Tokyo. The new tallest building in Japan is here. And the gleaming skyscraper is part of an expansive, modern urban village in central Tokyo, years in the making. The tower, with gently curved edges and a crown resembling flower petals, reaches 330 meters 83 feet in height, with 64 floors above ground. That surpasses the Abeno Haruka skyscraper in Osaka, now Japan's second tallest building at 300 meters 84 feet. The completion of the tower, announced on Monday, brings the sprawling Azabudai Hills complex one step closer to its scheduled opening in the fall. The project has been under construction since 2019, with just final touches left to do in the coming months, according to a press release by building developer Mori Building Company. The building, one of several within the development, will be multi-purpose, hosting branded hotel residences, office spaces, a university medical center, retail shops and restaurants, and the largest international school in central Tokyo, according to the release. Spanning an area of more than 8 hectares, nearly 20 acres. The project aims to revitalize the entire neighborhood, with other on-site facilities including a spa, fitness clubs, an art gallery, and a museum. The various structures will make up a city within a city. Developers said to accommodate local traffic. We even constructed new roads running through the complex, according to the website. The wider development is expected to accommodate about 20,000 employees and 3,500 residents, along with a projected 25-35 million visitors per year. The towers were designed by renowned architecture firm Pelly Clark Gale Partners. The UK's Heatherwick studio designed one of the development's low-rise structures. Architects who worked on the project previously told CNN that the residential interiors pay homage to Japanese craftsmanship and lifestyles, such as the way Japanese homes are usually laid out. Japan was once known for its technological advances and rapid urban development, though many of its tallest skyscrapers were built before the turn of the century. Other countries have meanwhile raced ahead constructing ever taller skylines. The Azabudai Hills skyscraper is still dwarfed by towers in New York, Taiwan, and Dubai, and it will soon have competition nearby, with a new torch-inspired building rising in Tokyo. At 390 meters, nearly 1280 feet, Torch Tower will loom above Azabudai Hills when it completes in 2027. The development around that tower also aims to incorporate greenery and open grounds, and will become the largest city block in the Japanese capital, according to its website.